Some MFer in the 5th century BC. I should write a book about military philosophy that would be relevant for millennia later. And this is definitely another accurate quote by him. And just the way he said things too. I mean, it's almost like he said this 5 years ago. The Portuguese finding a new colony. Trade offer. I receive beautiful woman. You receive religion. They drove a pretty hard bargain. Man, was this effective. NASA scientists in 1990, after finding out they spent $4.7 billion on a space telescope that only takes blurry pictures because it wasn't assembled correctly. I mean, what else can you say in that situation but oops. Hubble Space Telescope moment. I think this didn't happen with the James Webb Telescope. British expeditionary forces in the Victorian era when they come across some floofy doggos whilst raiding the old summer palace in Beijing. Well, they had a ton of experience basically doing this same thing to fill up their museums, so stealing some floofy doggos wasn't gonna be a problem. One of these dogs given to Queen Victoria was called Ludi. So these floofers at the time were only allowed in the Chinese Imperial Palace, but during the Second Opium War, I guess there was a 5-finger discount. The Australian Prime Minister on the 17th of December, 1967 for some reason. And the craziest thing is, he just didn't come back. He just decided he was gonna live there forever now. Why do I always laugh at this meme? One day I just need to visit the swimming pool they named after him. Uh-oh. Looks like you forgot your Romanian lesson again. You know what happens now. Yes, Vlad the Impaler, or should we say Duo the Impaler. Victor Hugo writing an entire novel set in his favorite cathedral just so it can become popular enough to not be demolished and get enough funding for restoration. This was literally to save Notre Dame in France. Oh, it's the Hunchback of Notre Dame. This story is 500 years old? I literally thought it was just made in the 90s. So not only did this guy save his favorite cathedral, but he also got a movie out of it. This must have been literally him in the 15th century. He knew he was about to drop a banger too. The Germans, juiced up on crystals, running through the lowlands to get to France, be like some crystal blue persuasion. Once I found out about stuff like this, their whole dominance during the beginning of World War II made a whole lot more sense. Royal inbreeding be like expectation versus reality. Yeah, apparently Pharaoh Tut was not the most, I don't know, genetically gifted. Parents were brother and sister. He was married to his half-sister. Oh, and it's funny because it still took humans several more thousands of years to figure out inbreeding does not produce this. How Japan prepared for Midway. It's this versus how they actually fought. I'm out of carriers. Hey, you think this is gonna be a problem at all? Austria in the beginning. You wanna fight? Austria after the hope was gone. I love you, Germany. I actually can't even tell if they're talking about World War I or World War II here. I'm guessing World War I because Austria-Hungary started fighting and then they were tiny. I don't know, who cares? I need to become a VTuber. Australia, yeah, I'm gonna mind my own business. Also Australia, when a world war breaks out. Everybody should just shut the bloody hell up. Yeah, Australia has always kind of been that ride or die, homie. Hardest picture of Where's Waldo. I didn't realize Waldo took part in the D-Day invasion. He must have did pretty good because I still can't find him. Be me, trebuchet operator in the Middle Ages. Enemy castle 300 meters away. I have several children around 90 kilograms. I put one in the trebuchet. Release the lever. Child is now flying through the air at 80 meters a second. He crashes into the castle wall and explodes. I love my job. Man, to be a trebuchet operator in the Middle Ages. Talk about having one of the greatest jobs in history. When it's 1347 Europe and you accidentally sneeze on your homie without covering your mouth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not actually going to be able to get back up from that. Giving your homie the bubonic plague is the true test of friendship. All my homies got the bubonic plague. Medieval doctors when they prescribe leeches and drilling a hole in the head to cure psychosis. Okay, takes off bandage.
You are healed.
Yep.
I've healed you.
This man is a miracle worker. And look, he looks so good too. Finally, we got our independence, says George Washington. Time to make our America great. Man, shut up and pay or you will be invaded. I thought the US paid to the Barbary states, not the Ottomans. This is one of our first true tests as a nation. Interesting that it's called the Barbary Wars, and the Barbary coast includes Morocco, but Morocco remains one of America's oldest and closest allies in North Africa. There's also all these memes about Morocco being the first country to recognize the USA, but wasn't it France? Oh, this is disputed. It might have been first. Average WW2 Soviet soldier versus average WW2 Finnish soldier. You gotta love the Winter War. I always think about how crazy that must have been to see a dude on skis like in Egypt, 2 male royal manicurists. Manicurists? Did they They had those? These dudes was nail technicians thousands of years ago. They were found both buried together in a shared tomb, similar to the way married couples were often buried. It read, joined in life, joined in death, having lived in 2400 BC, and they are believed to be history's oldest roommates. Roommates. And they were roommates. Or should I say tombmates? I dated a Chinese guy, a French guy, and an American guy. Broke all their hearts. That's for Vietnam. I never understood this meme because Vietnam kicked everyone's butt. China, France, and America already took a huge L, yet you still out here breaking hearts? But yeah, pretty sure a Japanese guy should be next. The Battle of Thermopylae is the best. 7,000 Greeks, led by 300 Spartans, held off 200,000 Persians for several days. Neat story. Still lost the battle and allowed Athens to be sacked. I guess that's one way to look at it. French revolutionaries, when they find out the Bastille probably has a buttload of gunpowder in it. For some reason, the only thing I can think about right now is Area 51. This could have been us, but y'all was just playing. Replace gunpowder with aliens. When your parents tell you they're taking you on a day trip to a theme park, but then you realize it's Action Park in New Jersey. Oh, thanks, Mom and Dad. You're taking your child to the deadliest theme park of all time. Maybe they're just trying to get a lawsuit out of this. Back in the 80s, an emergency room nearby said they'd get at least 5 to 10 victims a day during the busiest times. I'll be honest, I'd still be kind of down to go. Thomas Edison casually stealing invention ideas to rebrand them with his own name on the patent. Oh no, are we gonna talk about this again? Sad Tesla noises. Britain when Prussia/Germany became France's new nemesis. That must have been real hard for them. Imagine fighting your rival for several centuries and then all of a sudden they get a new rival, and then not too long after that, all of a sudden you're just best friends. Mao Zedong be like, behold, the great leap forward. Are you sure this is going to ensure sufficient food supply? Food supply? We don't need that. No one cares about that. Food can just take a backseat for a while. Romans, when they top off their perfectly good dish by covering it with a bunch of rotten fish. There's so much potential for this meme format. Same thing could work for like Icelandic people, except when you offer them raw shark. Oh, actually, sorry, did I say raw? I meant rotting shark. King Philip II of Spain, learning that half his fleet has been destroyed because they all crashed into each other in a storm. Oh, okay. Wasn't expecting that. Didn't go quite as planned. Talk about nerfing the Spanish Empire overnight. A map of Gaul, according to Julius Caesar. I wonder what this could say. It's free friends? Maybe just friends? They're gonna be friends? It couldn't be real estate, right? We know that the ancient Romans successfully taught the parrot to pronounce the words, praise Caesar. Civilized squawking. I just don't understand how they had time to do stuff like this when they had to take over all the Gauls. No Germans after taking their little crystals before battle. Even while drunk, I can do these tasks just fine. I don't think a couple of drinks would do quite as good as the stuff that they were on, though. Hilter blaming Romanians for their encirclement in Stalingrad, like, what are you, Italian? Okay, I need the sauce for this. What could she be possibly using this line for? Fun facts with Squidward. If Hilter happened to be Indian, Gobbles would have been his propaganda minister. Oh my God. I think it's time to send Squidward to the front lines on the Eastern Front. I killed Franz Ferdinand, lols. Everybody in the restaurant just stares blankly back at him. Chaos erupts everywhere. Immediately chairs and tables just get thrown. Like the added detail that Switzerland's not doing anything though. Since it's World War I, Spain isn't either. Wow, now this is an accurate meme. Germany fighting both France and Russia at the same time. People in 1686 just minding their own business. People in 1687. Do you believe in gravity? Isaac Newton publishes 3 laws and then literally flipped the world upside down. Or maybe right side up. Friends versus trebuchet. Friends require an entire discussion to convenience where to go. Say they're available whenever, yet may only survive a single arrow, probably never siege in their life, versus my buddy Trebi here, easily packed up and moved, trusted siege weapon for over 2,000 years, can survive to up to 250 arrows. To each their own, but I think the answer is obvious. I would just use all my former friends as target practice once I get my brand new trebuchet, because I don't need them anymore. Communists, when they realized that their most powerful bomb was called the Tsar bomb, and not the General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union bomb. How am I supposed to remember the biggest bomb of all time if it only has 2 words in it? It'd be much more simpler if the bomb itself had like 13 words in it. It's more of a chance that I'll remember one of the words. Why did they choose to name that the Tsar Bomba? I thought they didn't like those Tsars. Slaying fascists with your bestie and growing old together. Just girl things. Okay, now this is epic. When you live in Pompeii and you woke up late on October 24th, 79 AD, the sky seems to be raining ash and molten lava. This shouldn't be a problem, right? European scientists waiting for the sailors to bring back a giant tortoise so they can give it a scientific name. Meanwhile, the sailors. Oh no, did they really eat Crush from Finding Nemo? I'll never forgive them for this. The USSR detonated the Tsar Bomba, the largest nuclear weapon ever, in 1961. They followed up this achievement by constructing their first toilet paper factory 8 years later. One thing's for sure, man, the USSR had their priorities right. When you sober up after a hard night's drinking and realize you ordered a nuke on North Korea, oh, yeah, maybe it's a good idea for the president to not be doing this. Good old Richard Nixon moment.
And big thanks to my patrons.
Isaac, I guess.
Australia's Sussiest, Chungus.
Aushtin, Powersh, Fazha.
ASUSOmen.
aPhatNarwhal.
My name is Joe Biden. I love being Joe Biden.
Drew's Argentinian grandpa.
Cowboys 83.
Barnsky W.
GoodOldRyah.
GoodOldRyah.
Jakov.
bruney.
MarcoHindera.
Ortin 5610.
Phresh Animations.
RyeThePie.
The Mexican
Why am I doing
760
this?
in the Conqueror